said it's all grind. Had to go through in the rain to watch the day shine. This testimony taking faith, my glory go to God. Said I'ma keep this pace, I ain't racing this marathon. Package up in my carry too smooth, super shy vibe. Sit back and play it cool while we vibe out. Sit and taste this food, have a drinking good time. Well, we all living fast, but we gon' die fly. We gon' die fly.
Do say my cup on this one.
Chef.
Malachi. It's Malachi.
Got Brandy. Chef Duty Wine has graced us with her presence today. Got Chef Reno over here. Got some grits and stuff. What's up? What's up? Welcome back for another episode with your boy, Chef St Erik. I got the greatest chef I know, Chef Sharena, here with me.
Hello.
Yeah, so this episode, I play sports, and one thing with sports, you always, to get better, you got to watch yourself. You got to watch your film. So this is going to be like a little film breakdown / little mini podcast, I guess, episode. We're going to kind of talk. We're going to chop it up. We're just going to talk about some chef stuff. We're going to talk about this event we did. And, we're just going to see where it leads us. Yeah. So this event here, 24 people in Thibodaux, Louisiana. It's about 50 miles right outside of New Orleans. It was a good time. This was an event here. I've done a couple over 20 in a house setting. They're not the best, but I think we made it work. This kitchen was actually pretty nice.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was pretty well set up for this type of event, right? So we did one, two, three, four. We did 5 courses. And for this, I charged them $165 per person plus grocery costs, right? And so this was old pricing. So again, this video is from October 2022, right? So it's been a little while. So pricing and stuff has changed, but I did like the pricing. What you think about pricing?
It honestly depends upon how many courses and what proteins that are being offered in between those courses.
Yeah.
As well as if somebody's pairing wine and cocktails with these courses. All of that is a factor at the end of the day that will increase the pricing per plate.
Yeah. So this event, they did the pretty much like table setting. I brought in plates, brought in silverware. They already had the tables and chairs and everything set up. We did serve the beverages that they did purchase separate. We had chicken and champagne. We had Miss Denicia and we had Brandy. They held that down out there. We had the best team set up for this. I remember when I went home, I was like, yo, this squad right here, we was getting it, right? So the menu, we're plating salads right now. So we did pickled strawberry salad with a champagne vinaigrette, creme fraiche, some spiced and smoked pecans. Second course was a smoked catfish dip with a Parmesan chips. Third dish was scallop crudo with diced strawberries, pineapple big shot, and knock chop. I love that pineapple big shot.
It was
literally took a pineapple big shot. If you're not from Louisiana, you don't know, it is a soda. It's a pineapple soda that is well known down here. And reduced that down, made a beautiful knock chom sauce out of it. Fourth course was a seared duck with some grits. You did your thing on them grits, girl. Them things was stinging, yeah. And with a
Stick to your
blackberry,
bones,
them,
huh?
hey, ooh, with a blackberry, them, I want to throw some stuff on them grits, man. And then fifth course was a warm brown butter blondie with a caramel sauce with some peaches. So as a salads, the salad was good. I would say I wish the strawberries would cut down a little bit more. They were only half. I probably would have liked them quartered.
Okay.
But I mean, I think that course went well. You can always tell how it's going to go by that first course, that salad course. Like when they get salad course and they're all like, okay, it's like, oh yeah. This is only a teaser.
Right, this is literally the start.
Yeah, this the tip right here. Let's see, this is the smoked catfish dip.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
It was good. As I look back, I mean, you know, the hardest thing about, I guess, doing some of these dinners, right, is that people in their mind sometimes like they want the fine dining experience, but they don't want the fine dining food. You know what I mean? Like they want it to be like the in between of like a casual restaurant, in between like, you know, something like a Commander's and stuff like that. But then again, they don't want it to be like, you know,
too far-fetched of what they're known to have.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like
yeah.
finding that happy medium sometimes a little hard. And then sometimes like plating some of that stuff. Like this, I wish it probably would have been it would have been better if it was like probably less of that. I remember the Tulies, I couldn't get them to actually like fold up like I wanted. So this was like adjust on the fly with the Parmesan crisp like that. Again, in the home kitchen trying to do
make
some of
those
these things.
twills. Yeah, that was I do remember that being a challenge.
Yeah, and sometimes I think that is like the hardest part about doing the personal private chef is right. Like sometimes you get in these kitchens and you've never been in this kitchen before, right? And so you working with whatever they have. A lot of times I do like for them like send pictures of the kitchen sometimes, so at least I know what I'm getting myself into. Because I've been in some kitchens, child, and it's like you working in a 3x3 stove. You know, like man, I did a dinner. It was around Jazz Fest, and you know, around that fairground area, those houses are like kind of old, right? So they've been like remodeled. And man, when I say this kitchen was so small, like it was the size of this. Like this entire table was probably the entire size of the kitchen. Like it's probably like the entire kitchen I had to work with was 6 foot. That means stove, counter, sink.
Oh yeah,
the little baby sink. Man.
Yeah,
And
like hand washing.
Man, it had to be like 4 courses for like 3 people. Like you talking about like some tough stuff sometimes, you know, and it's tough. It's tough. But Chef, a little bit about you. Chef Sharena, the great.
Oh man.
The great. Tell us a little bit about you.
I am a chef originally from Buffalo, New York. I got my credentials at Johnson & Wales University in Providence, Rhode Island. And then I came to New Orleans in 2014 after I graduated with my associates in culinary arts. Did an externship at Emerald's, and that's what prompted the
Big
move.
Emeralds.
Yeah,
Emeralds.
that's what prompted the move to come down here officially. So they offered me a job after I graduated, and I was like, you know what?
I told y'all she don't play, man.
No.
I told y'all she don't play. She working at the Big Emeralds.
So that's where I got my start. And then from there, just different opportunities along the way have kept me in this city. And it's been 9 years.
Yeah, 9 years.
Yes, last month made 9 years.
How have you enjoyed the city?
I have loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been everything that I've wanted as far as like looking back on this like dream that I had for myself of wanting to be here and then actually putting it into, you know, fruition. It was definitely, like I said, a lot of opportunities have come about since I've been in the city, and a lot of love, support. I just always end up realizing like this is the most communal, familial aspect that I've experienced.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anybody here from jump, so building some type of, you know, I guess clientele as well as just like friends and connections along the way have given me the random support that I'm like, I guess it's not so random, you know what I mean? It is just like over time it's just been more exposed. So I've been very grateful and appreciative of my time here, and it's definitely been a blessing.
What drew you to New Orleans?
The food, number one. The food and the music. Right. The food and the music. I came down here for an Essence Festival, and what year was that? Oof. I had to be like 12. So I think maybe like 2008. And when I came down here with my family, I told them, I was like, I'm coming back down here. Like, I don't know when, but I was like, I'm going to make this move at some point. I can see myself, but like, it drew me at like...
The music. Right?
Yeah,
oh,
it
the music
drew me.
Crazy.
Yeah, just the culture, the experience. It was just like, it felt inviting enough for me to be like, at that age, I know I'm coming back.
Yeah. And it's crazy. I tell everyone, like, New Orleans and Louisiana are two totally separate countries. Like, there's two totally separate states. Like, you have the state Louisiana, you have the state New Orleans, and it just is so different down here. Like, it's absolutely amazing. I remember I was working at Nopsy, right? So I'm working front desk at Nopsy. I think it was like a weekend day or something like that. And I got off work, and I just walked down to Bourbon. Like, you know, it's like, you live in New Orleans, like, you gotta go walk around the French Quarter. You gotta experience the French Quarter, right? And so I walked into one of those like little jazz clubs, and this is pre-COVID. So I walked in one of the jazz clubs. I'm sitting down. I got me like, I think I'm on like my second glass of wine, right? And I'm sitting like probably like second row, like the jazz club, and they're going, and they played this song, and it was, I remember the words. It was like, the first time you visit, you fall in love. The second time you visit, you start looking for houses. This is my job, transfer down here. And the third time you visit, it's like, okay, like, let's pick a date, and we're actually moving. And it's really like that. Like, this city is absolutely amazing.
It is.
Why did you start cooking?
I always loved my mom and my grandmother's cooking. So like I just watched them in the kitchen sometimes, and then from there it became kind of like when Food Network was really popular in the very beginning. 'Cause I don't watch too much like TV like anymore like that. But at the time I was watching stuff on Food Network, and that kind of gave me extra influence. But I just liked baking. Things and watching my mom and grandmother make things, and that's kind of where the influence was. Now, to take it to another level, my brother ended up going to a trade school in high school, and he'd be bringing home things, and I'm like, we go to the same school, where you going, where are you making this at? Like, I don't understand. He was like, oh, it's a program that's affiliated with our school, but it's outside of school, and I go there for like 2 hours a day, and then I come back and go back to regular school. I was like, oh, well. And so from there, my sister did the same thing, but she was in cosmetology. He did culinary. But, they influenced me to go into that route my junior, senior year. And from there, it just took off, and colleges came to visit. And from there, I ended up choosing Johnson & Wales from that. Yeah. Yeah.
So was that the moment, like, you knew, like I want to be a chef? Or do you have another moment where it's like, no, I want to be a chef. And I'm talking like a chef, not like, you know what I'm saying, you cooking on the line. Like, it's like, no, I know I want to be like a chef.
Yeah, honestly, the passion was there. I couldn't see myself. I honestly kept questioning, was there anything else I could see myself doing in the current moment as well as future? And at that time frame, I was like, no. I was like, I knew it was always going to be something in the creative arts, but I kept pushing in that direction. Of food, and so I just went with it, and I was like, well, we gonna try to stick this one out, because that's where you see yourself going. We gonna stick it out to that. So yeah.
So you brought up bacon, right? Chef, we gotta talk about these king cakes though. Like, Chef Sharena makes probably the most magical king cake I've ever had in my life, right? And I'm talking like, I've had a lot of king cakes before. I love king cakes. Like king cake season is me. Like I've always bought king cakes. Like even when I was even back at the corporate life, like I'm bringing king cakes like once a week or so because I love king cake. Like, you know what I'm saying?
The dedication.
You know what I'm saying? The king cake calories do not count outside of Mardi Gras. You know, now that duck dish was.
That was good.
That duck was good.
That's
With that blackberry demi-glace with them grits, man. Like them grits was. Yeah, that was a good. That's one of my favorite dishes I make. I think if I had a signature dish, that probably would be like my signature dish.
Yes, I could see that. I could see that. I would say I wish if anything could change in that dynamic of plating wise, I wish it would have been let's put the grits down as we're about to push them out.
Yeah.
Like let's build these plates by table. By table instead of all at once because I didn't want the grits to get I just at that point.
Yeah, I know we kind of got off. We didn't talk about much about the video with plating, but you know, when these type of events, like
it's hard.
It's really hard because you're going on the timing of the clients, right? Like they had a band going out there. They had 2 bands. I know they had a guy with the guitar playing. Was it just dinner that time? I don't know. I was so inside. I don't even know what was going on outside. I know we would like take the plates out there and stuff, but I know it was kind of cool. Like it was a birthday for it was a birthday dinner, surprise birthday dinner too. Like that was pretty cool. Had all this set up around the pool. Like it was actually very nice out there. The lights, like the guy who set this up did a great job.
Yeah,
I know he had some help from the people, but he did a great job. But doing events like this, like you got to have space, and you got to have like the island. Like I said, this kitchen was probably set up the best because you had a really nice stove that can handle some heavy duty cooking. You had the island set up so we can actually spread out and actually like do some stuff. Now, one thing I probably would change is I probably would have one more chef in there with us, one more pair of cooking hands. Serving hands, I think that was okay. 2 people, maybe 24, maybe we'll bring one more person in just for like fill in between and stuff like that. But I don't know. But for this event, it went well. And that's the thing. I think when we got done, I was so just like, this is amazing because it went well. Like I was so proud of us because it was like we did that. Yeah, we did that.
Yeah,
we did that.
Everything was very delicious, tasty. Yeah,
and everything went out well. It flowed well. You know. Now the peaches, I wish we could have done some of the peaches.
Yeah, I love doing like grilled peaches or some type of like, getting a caramelization coming out of the fruit.
Some color, some taste, just to get some extra like just added flavors onto it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I mean, we know for next time though. I think when I've done this before and I did something else with the peaches, I think we were tired by this point. It was late. I think we were just like, look, let's
wrap this up.
Let's get it done. Let's knock it out. We still had a long drive home. Like
that part as well. Yeah.
Yeah. But back to these king cakes. I can't let this go. Right.
I can't let it go.
So Chef Sharena makes this sweet potato king cake that is probably, I can taste it now. Like having it warm. Ooh, chef. Child, that thing's so good. How did you come up with like the sweet potato king cake?
I started off with like 3 or 4 flavors when I first was like pushing them out. The basic traditional cinnamon brown sugar and the cinnamon brown sugar with cream cheese. And then I did almond frangipane and a strawberries and cream and a pralines and cream. So everything kind of was like with some type of cream cheese base filling. And the next year I was trying to think like, I want something else incorporated, something like that I could potentially push for holiday season. So I started playing around December and I was like, this could be for, next holiday season. But I was like, I had 2 flavor profiles, which was sweet potato. I just ended up thinking like sweet potato for like Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
And then for Christmas, I had played around. You'd be surprised. That one I didn't push out, but I made a candy cane.
Candy cane.
Yes, I made a candy cane one.
What
Like
flavor?
it was peppermint.
Peppermint.
Yeah, it was a peppermint king cake. Yeah. I didn't end up pushing that one out though. It was good.
I think you need to do a Christmas. I think you need to do a Christmas special with that peppermint. I really think like
It
you
was
probably
unique. It was. I just wasn't sure if people were really gonna go for it, like, cause they didn't go for it. Like, I'm after realizing certain people's palates, most people like traditional flavors.
Yeah.
Which is always gonna be a brown sugar base. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So playing around with other flavors, they get a little funky acting.
Yeah.
They do. So
You know what they do, because down here they want very, very close traditional.
yes,
But
classic.
I think that peppermint one, because you got a great follow. You remember when we went to that the king cake party?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we went to this king cake. It was a influencer king cake party, right? So we got to meet all the New Orleans influencers and stuff. And Chef Sharena was supposed to meet me to bring the king cakes, but she ended up coming, which was great, right? It was like, I think it was like the best surprise ever. So we walk in there, and I kept telling them, I was like, my king cake's on the way. They was like, well, we're gonna wait. I was like, my king cake's on the way.
Right,
Like, I promise you, like, y'all gonna wait for these. And so we get in there. I put the king cakes down, and the Jasmine who threw the party, she was like, wait, you got SS Sweets? She was like, how the hell did you get SS Sweets to do king cakes? And I was like, what you mean? She was like, how did you get? I thought she retired. I thought she stopped doing king cakes. I was like, Jazz, I'm him. What you mean? I mean, okay. And so it was funny because it was like, there she go right there, but she didn't put like 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, like that's her, right?
And so it was funny when we went around, everyone had to introduce themselves, introduce them handles, and then what king cake they brought. And I was like, so I'm Chef Erik. I brought her. And everybody was like, oh my God. And it was like, what, 20 king cakes? There was a lot of king cakes
it was.
there.
It was a lot of options.
But yours went the quickest. Like her 2 king cakes were demolished for any other ones, like halfway through. Like, I'm going to tell y'all now, SS Sweets, right? When it's king cake season, you better get yours. I'm going to get me a couple, right? Right? You know what I'm saying? Hey, don't meet me there, beat me there.
Oh man,
Straight like
I
that.
appreciate it. Yeah, they can go. They can go.
I can't wait. So, Chef, you got any, what's your future goals as a chef? Like, what is, your ultimate goal when you think, I want to be a chef?
Ultimate goal. Honestly, I am still working on that final, but in this transitional period, I want to say it's been more private events, personal catering, or personal chef type of jobs, more intimate settings, but also working in different environments. Majority of my background has been in catering for 6 years. So with that, it gave me the opportunity to always have different spaces to cook in. And from that, it gave me the influence of I would like to push for that type of outlook. So meeting you, and some other chefs within the last year or two have put me in those spaces of being able to. So it started out with, I guess, the goal being assisting different chefs along their journeys, and then eventually going into that same space for myself.
Yeah.
So as of right now, that is the goal, on top of whatever contracted work, whoever is willing to, give me the space to create, as well as have some type of flexibility.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm leaning towards in this next phase of my life. I'm definitely always willing and wanting to learn to grow. But I am learning that there needs to be a balance within, working as well as taking time for myself. So that's the space I'm still transitioning into. It's always going to be that teeter totter, but yeah, if I could get more solid ground future tense wise, I'm totally fine with still thugging it out and grinding what I need to do currently, but end goal would be having like pickup jobs when I want to. And potentially having a small space to just push out desserts and pastries when I want to. Specifically because you did speak on king cakes, because that's only seasonal, that's an option for me to, pursue and kind of make that my own as well, because it's only for a season. I know what to expect normally during that season, with it being only a 2-month time period. That's kind of a future goal of mine as well, like to continue pushing through with that. But it can be very overwhelming, especially because I'm the only person doing it as of right now. But at some point, I would like to have like maybe a small team to help me along the way.
Sign me up, man. Sign me up. I come throw some dough around. We have a great bond, and so I feel comfortable having this conversation with you. But I've been struggling with figuring out like what I want to do as far as my ultimate goal. Like I love doing this. Like I love doing the dinners. I love doing the personal private chef side. I love the traveling aspect. I love that. But it's like, you can't be in the kitchen forever, right? And so it's like the ultimate goal is like, I don't know. Because I think I arrived to where I am with my business quicker than what I thought I would.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought I would be where I'm at probably like 5 years and not doing it within like 2-3. And so it's been fast. It's been fast. Like I think I had to do a job, not a job. I wanted to do a speaking thing for Noki. Their alternative culinary, like not just in someone's restaurant type job, career day. And I added up, I was just doing like some stats, you have to tell about yourself. And I said, I've done over like 230 jobs in like 3 years. And it's like, damn, like that's a lot. Like when you break it down. But then it's like, okay, we're here. Like what's next? Like what's the next goal? And I've really been struggling with that. I really don't know what that is.
Honestly, when I think back at, as you were speaking, like on both of our like careers and where we are currently, and then you think future wise, I'm like, honestly, for me, I think of giving back.
Yeah.
I think of communal giving back. At some point, it's like we can't carry all of this information to the graves, and we're gonna have to pass it off to somebody. So I think that is something to think on. Potentially, teaching the youth is a potential future job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely get that. Giving back is a big thing for me. That is definitely one of my just personal initiatives is giving back. I do a lot of different things. I'm not one of those people where I do it for, social media. Like I don't post anything about it. Like I give away money in the name of the company, like for us, right? So like I've sponsored some things with like sort of Saint, with Noki, with Reconcile. If I'm not giving away my time, money, food or something, like I always give away in the name of the business, and I always do it in the name of like us, like anyone who's ever worked with me on events, like I do it in the name of us, right? And I will always love to do more, some more like community service, feeding the homeless, like just doing something. Like you got to give back
for sure.
That is extremely important.
Yeah.
That's extremely important. So, Chef, what would you say is your greatest pivot moment in your life?
It'd probably be my transition of moving here.
Yeah.
To New Orleans. Yeah, in between that and that was 19-year-old me, fresh out of college, moving to a city I have never.
Yeah. So tell me your emotions moving. Like, did you drive down here? Did you fly down?
Initially, when I did my externship, I flew down and I stayed at the Suno campus.
Yeah.
Because I was still technically a student.
Yeah.
So they accepted me and I stayed on their campus for 3 months. And then when I made the official big move, I did drive down with my car. My dad and my sister helped me drive down. And it was overwhelming, honestly. It was very overwhelming to try to find a space within a weekend's time frame because like they were just hoping to push me out and then they were leaving by like Monday, Tuesday. So I had to get things in order by like Sunday, and I was like, oh, this is entirely too much. But everything ended up working out. I had a coworker at the time that had just moved down he was from the north as well, but he was from Connecticut. So he had just moved down around the same time that we were working at Emerald's, and he ended up having an extra room, and so I ended up staying and being his roommate, and that's how that transition went. But I'd say that moment of like big jump leap, you know what I mean, from one state that was still up north, because being from Buffalo, still up north, then from north straight down south. Like, I'm familiar with the South, but I was never like, didn't come down here for any family. I came down here strictly with a goal in mind to continue pushing, learning, and grow within this industry. So that moment, as well as I think the most recent one, would be after leaving the catering job and starting contract work. It was a necessary time in my life because it was like I was going through some mental struggles, and I realized like I can't keep pushing and straining myself for a job that ultimately doesn't care about me, because they truly show their colors at the end of the day. So and that moment, it was like I had to do what was best for me, and it ultimately was the best option. I ended up going into contract work of working for the military and feeding soldiers for about 7 months. So that was a different pivot, but it put me in a different space of like realizing what I've been doing, I could be doing, but getting paid a lot more.
Yeah.
And also what I've been doing, I don't have to do as much, because now the space that I'm in, they recognize and see my value and my work ethic, to where I don't have to put in if I didn't want to. But with my work ethic, I'm always going to keep pushing to do extra and a little bit above and beyond.
Yes, you do.
But that's just, but I realized, like I said, in that job space, it pushed me to being like, oh, okay, I know they want to pay me now. You know what I mean? So it opened my eyes to being like, push for more jobs that actually willing and wanting to pay you your worth plus more. So that's the space that I like to be in, being appreciated in all aspects, not just one.
So you mentioned like worth and value. You know, we're always talking about that. Like, as a woman in this industry, as a Black woman in the industry, like, talk to me about that. Like, has it been struggles for you? Has it been like people don't understand or value your worth in it?
Yeah. From jump, like moving down here, always gave the sense of male dominated field, and you stick to the few things that we want you to stick to, and that just be that. Because
I find it crazy that like the culinary restaurant industry or the culinary industry is male dominated, but every best cook I know is a woman.
We grew up, we grew up eating our mother's cooking.
So that's always been the craziest thing.
The concept,
like, okay, the business world is dominated by men, but it's like, nah, y'all be cooking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like a cooking, make things from nothing, make things from scratch, like feeding the community type of thing. You know, and that's always been a weird concept to me.
Yeah, but it isn't always fair.
Yeah.
It isn't always shown. Like, basically, females in this industry are just now, I feel like, getting more recognition and being pushed in the light to be exposed more. But yeah, when I first got down here, and that's why I ended up leaving my first job, was because they weren't willing to give me more exposure all throughout the kitchen. I had to learn everything in the beginning because it was a requirement for school. But then at a certain point when I came back, they were just like, you stick to garde manger and pastry and you'll be fine. And it was like, no, I want to actually expand. I don't want to keep, doing the same thing and just being comfortable. So when I challenged that, they pushed me into fry. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And then from there, I was like, but I can do more. And I want to do more. And yeah, they just kept testing me, trying to see. And that was fine. Like I said, I was willing and up for the challenge, but realizing at the end of the day, they already had who they wanted in mind to put in different spaces. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, this isn't fair. Yeah. And I'm going to go somewhere that's going to treat me like a fair, basically, environment. So, it's been a struggle, I will say. You don't always get the same respect as a male. I had that struggle with the catering job, because when I finally got into a position of not only just pastry chef, but sous chef, I was questioned and challenged a lot. And I'm like, I done put in the years and time here. Yeah. At that point, I was already at 6 years, and I was like, why is there backlash and animosity towards what I've been putting in towards this? And now and certain people felt some type of way, and I'm like, okay, all right. So yeah, it's interesting, the dynamic of being in this industry.
I know it's discrimination is one thing that's very interesting in this industry, right? It's like, I don't know if it's a regional thing. I don't know if it's if it's somewhere that's all over, but a lot of times, whenever I make sure that at least my picture is up on profiles I have different places, or like you talking to a black man when but we've had these conversations, like you talk to a black man whenever you reach out, right? And it's funny, like whenever we arrive to these events, the look on people's faces are very much like, it's worrisome, and it's like they're worried, like, oh my God, like I guess, like, did we do the right thing? Is this actually going to be worth it, the value? Like it's always so funny. Like I can see it, I can pinpoint the moment, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why I say, like, whenever they get like the first course, they get that salad course, or appetizers, or whatever, hors d'oeuvres, whatever we're doing. Like whenever they get that, you can see their face like, oh, okay. It's like, okay.
Finally done eased up, right?
Okay. But it's always so funny, and it's like a lot of times, even when I send out quotes or when I'm communicating back and forth with the client, like, you send them a quote and they're just like, that's what we got to pay. And it's like, yes, that's what this service costs. You know, I never forget. I had this guy. He was coming down for Final Four weekend. Was here in New Orleans, and they had an Airbnb, and they wanted food for pretty much like 18, 20 hours. Like they wanted food for the entire day. They wanted breakfast, snacks, you know, bites for lunch, and then they wanted dinner to sit down. And it's like, okay, that costs. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, it was like 15, 16 people. It's like, sir, like, you want food for 24 hours. Like, that costs money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to be in the kitchen cooking all day long,
Right.
you know? And I remember I sent him a quote, and he literally sent me an email back laughing at me, saying, like, oh, you cost more than an ER doctor or, you know, some surgeon that's on duty for the ER. And I'm like, okay, tell them maybe they need to get their money up. Like maybe they can charge, maybe they need to raise the salary, something, you know. But it's like, dog, like, dang, that's what you really, that's how you really feel, you know. And I send quotes out, people, you know, people ghost you all the time, but it's like, I don't know, and I dealt with discrimination a lot in my hotel job. You know, they'll be like, well, I want to speak to a manager, and it's like, I'm here, hey, you know, like, well, I want to speak to someone else. I'm the highest ranking person you got. Like, and they'll just look at you like in disgust, like, ugh. And it's like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like, you know, coming into this culinary world, it's like, man, like, this is something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the issue. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But I don't know if it's just a regional thing or is that somewhere that's all over, you think? I know we all, you know, as Black people in all different industries, I know we all got our different, you know, struggles. But it's like, man, like we gotta do something about that. But I think a lot of times, I think Black chefs have become more popular now. You know, you see a lot of Black chefs on different TV shows or, you know,
Platforms.
yeah, and it's like, okay, I think we're finally making a charge. And then I like that. I like to see that. I think it's a great thing.
I think so as well. I do.
Finally like to see us get our shine. You know,
Yeah.
we were throw away feeding we've been
Man.
feeding America for forever. Right?
I was about to say, yeah, everything has been built off of Black people's backs.
Yeah. So Chef, final question: What is faith to you, and what has it taught you?
Faith is, to me, having trust in the unknown.
Yeah. Do you
you
find
know.
that hard?
Sometimes yes, but you have to go back to the center.
Yeah.
You know, you have to ground yourself in being like, okay, if I do believe that things are going to work out for the greater good, then that's just how I have to continue moving. Yeah, we can worry ourselves sick about certain things, but it's ultimately not going to change in that moment. You know what I mean? It's a over time type of deal, as well as it's not going to be on your time.
Yeah.
Always. Like, the mentality we always have is like, we want it like this, but it's not on our time. It's on God's time. So, you know, trusting that things will work out for itself, and with the direction of God and putting one foot in front of the other, that's kind of how I view it.
Do you find it hard to follow faith, have faith at times?
I think I overthink too much, and that can cause that type of thinking, and create me to have self-doubt within myself. But, you know, then you look at the bigger picture of like, okay, where you came from and where you are currently. And it's like, how many times have, you know, you've been in a wishy-washy or bad situation, and then somehow you done got pulled out of that, or it's made you look at things differently, and ultimately you've come out on the other side better. You know what I mean? In that moment, it didn't feel like that was going to be the case, but eventually you look back and you're like, okay, that dynamic put me into a better space at some point, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's the viewpoint. I still struggle. I do. I will be 100 with that. So I do still struggle with.
See, we all do.
Yeah. It's hard to get out of your own head sometimes. I wish I could be more free flowing. I got one friend that's like that, where most things don't get to him at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you're so cool. Like, I wish. And even when things do get to him, he's not as vocal about it, but like he still somehow just has like a calm, collected space about him. So I'm like, I strive to be in that same type of pathway. Of course, it's a work in progress always, but yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, if you have faith, then you can't rush the process, and you have to just trust within as well as trust with God. And I'm definitely big advocate for that. Amen.
Before we end, Chef, I have to give you your flowers. Right, you are truly inspiration. Like, you are a badass in the kitchen. You know, I remember when Chef Whitney got us connected, right? And I think, was this video our first job working together?
It actually was.
It was. And it's funny that we're here.
Everything works out for a reason, right?
Hey. Okay, now, hey. But,
you have faith in her, and she had faith in me.
Hey,
and
come on now.
we have faith in each other to make this work, okay?
You know, you are, like I said, you are a badass in the kitchen. I love working around people who are chefs, right? And when I say chefs, like, there's people who can cook, or there's people who are like chefs, right? And you can always tell, like, they got that glow, they got that aura, how they move in the kitchen, the command in the kitchen. Like, we've done several jobs together, and I say you are always one of my first calls, like, because you know what you're doing, right? You handle business, like, it's never usually any issues, you know, but you as a person, like, you are a great person. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Chef Erik. I appreciate you as well.
You.
Yes.
I love what you do. Your king cakes, like I still remember what was that king cake day at the park thing, and the line. I was just like, what is this line for over here? Like, what's on this side? I remember walking over it, and I walked, like, the line was like curved, and I walked into like the middle, and I was like, oh, is this the line? Oh no, this is the line. Chef, like, I see you. Like, that's what's up. But I look forward to watching your career. I don't know how long I'll be able to, have you on the team, because, I know you're going to be off to humongous things in life. But I appreciate you, and you are one hell of a chef.
Thank you, Chef. I appreciate the sentiments, and the flowers. It's touching, as well as I appreciate you as well, and I'm gonna give you your flowers also.
Do all that?
No, because you already know you are very talented, and your work speaks for itself.
Appreciate you.
For sure.
I question a lot sometimes. That imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
comes on a lot,
it does. It does.
Especially like being new to the arena.
Mm-hmm.
It's like not new to cooking, but like new to like, being a chef and coming in, like, it's a little like sometimes.
Yeah. You get like tensed up.
Yeah, you step on a lot of toes sometimes when people are looking at you like, who does this Negro think he is? And it's like, look, I'm just being me, I'm sorry.
But it's not nothing to be sorry about when you being yourself.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That is very, very true, right?
Yeah.
Deion said it best, right? Right? It's on me. It's in me, not on me.
Yeah.
Come on now. Well, I appreciate you being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we got to do this again.
Yes.
We got to turn this into like a little podcast or something,
I would like that, yes.
But, but I appreciate y'all for joining in for another episode on the YouTube. Got some more stuff coming out. Got some more stuff for Chef Sharena up in this thing, you know what I'm talking about? But, Chef, where can I find you at? What's all your socials? Website?
As of right now, they can find me on Instagram. My business page is SS Sweets LLC, and it's a period in between the first two S's, so S period S Sweets LLC. And that's it as of right now. Because also they can find me at Dakar Nola, because I am a chef at Dakar Nola.
Now, you're not just a chef. You the chef over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I am one of the chefs at Dakar Nola, so you can also find me there making all the good West African food and pastries along the way. But yes, so those two spaces you can find me at. Thank you so much for having me, Chef Erik.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Till next time, people.
All right.
Peace out.